Harley-Davidson had a massive product failure in their electric motorcycle. Their electric motorcycle was very innovative, and it was a massive change from the way Harley did things previously. However, their product wasn't attractive to the customers. The customers like a specific type of motorcycle. They like one that is large, one that has horsepower, and one that has loud tailpipes. This electric motorcycle doesn't really meet the criteria for what Harley customers have come to know in their product. They also kind of had a ghost market with when they were thinking of their product. The people who they thought would buy their product didn't, and while their product was innovative, it wasn't as good as other electric motorcycles on the market. So they really alienated their customer base as well as they didn't acquire any new customers. Overall, this accumulated in a massive failure of the product.
All right, our second product failure is the Wow Chips. Now, the Wow Chips were created by Frito-Lay. They also used Olestra, which is a fat substitute created by Procter & Gamble. Initially, the sales were exceptional. They made $347 million in the first year, and they were the #1 selling potato chip brand of Frito-Lay. But also, studies proved that Olestra caused major health problems like cramping and diarrhea. Lawsuits were eventually made against the product, and then sales fell dramatically, and then they ended up discontinuing it. The product is an example of poor product quality, a factor that often results when a product is not thoroughly tested.
Alright, so my product is Crystal Pepsi. It was released in 1992, trying to enter the new age beverage market with a clear, caffeine-free soda substitute. They promoted it as a healthy, pure diet soda. The campaign for the product cost around $40 million in advertising alone. Sales the first year were very strong at astonishing $470 million. Most purchases were due to the curiosity, so they're wondering why a dark soda is now clear and how they got it to that color. The biggest downfall for the product is that it tasted just like the original Pepsi, so there's no difference in between what original dark Pepsi than this new clear Crystal Pepsi. And the product had a short-lived life for 3 years and was discontinued in 1995.
The Reliant Robin was considered the worst British car ever made. The Robin was a 3-wheeled car with a 4-cylinder engine that produced 35 horsepower. Despite the 35 horsepower, it only weighed 961 pounds and was known to exceed 80 miles an hour. Unfortunately, the car had several flaws. Since the body was made of a thin fiberglass, the doors would often crack with high winds. Not only that, but the steering wheel was known to pop off while driving. But the Robin was most famously known for rolling. The car had such a narrow wheelbase, it was classified as a motorcycle, and most certainly needed to be driven like one. Taking a sharp turn at a decent speed could send the car rolling across the road. Thank you.
Okay, to Braithwell in South Yorkshire now, and a blooming mystery that's baffling its green-fingered residents. Harry is there for us. Harry, what's going on?
Welcome here to beautiful Braithwell. You can see the sun exploding on a kaleidoscope of colour. And I have to say, there's been a real area of controversy here because over the last 2 days, my God! Are you all right, sir? Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm getting used to it now, thanks.
Oh.
Thanks
right.
very much. If you could just put me back on the wheels. Thank you so much. Thank you, Harry Grayson, House of Luke Law.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
So the #1 worst product flop of all time was a product released by Coca-Cola in the 1980s. Basically what happened was Pepsi released a new formula for their drinks and it gained success in the market share pretty rapidly. So in an attempt to combat Pepsi's success and gain some of their market share back, Coca-Cola tried to redo their formula, and this was the first time they'd attempted to do so in 99 years, and they introduced a new product called New Coke. There was an instant backlash from the people who normally bought Coke, and actually had protests that kind of happened all around the country. And 77 days later, Coke reverted to their old formula,
and that was after they lost $34 million. That's why we like the good old Coke.